Hey guys, it's Rick here again with Sick Diecast. I come back to you to make a video. I know it's been a while since I made one. I've been ghost for a little while, but I come back to you to make a tutorial video. I still have a lot of guys asking me how I do my lift kits and stuff, and here lately I hadn't been doing a lot of lifted trucks and stuff, which I know that's really what I'm known for, but this video I'm gonna be doing a full-length video, so you can pretty much see me do a lift kit from start to finish. I'm gonna list off the materials you need first, but to start with, I'm gonna let you know what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna be lifting one of these guys. It's a let's see if I can turn it right. It's a Tomica Land Cruiser, and I just got a pair of these in from Japan, so we're gonna lift one of them in this tutorial, and then in the next tutorial I'm gonna show you how to I'm gonna show you how to do the way I do my muddy paint jobs. So that's what I'm gonna be doing right now, since I don't have a whole lot to show you as far as hauling and stuff, and I hadn't really been working on a lot of customs. I've been working and it's been hot, and when I get home, you know, it's just I want to take a shower and relax some and spend time with a girlfriend. So that's what I've been doing. Hadn't really been doing hunting and stuff a lot lately. Just working and spending time with a girlfriend and trying to relax some after that. So, but this weekend she's away and I ain't working this weekend, so I'm gonna do a couple of videos, try to do some tutorial videos and show you guys some stuff. So let's get started. First, you just want to cut your wheels off your casting. I hadn't unriveted this one. I didn't drill it because I'm gonna leave it the same color. But as you can see there, all I did was take my Dremel and I went in there and cut my axles, and it scuffed up the base there a little bit, but that's not a problem. You won't see that whenever we get done. So you need your truck. Get your wheels off. If you're going to repaint it, of course you drill it. If you want to leave it the same color, like I said, just take your Dremel with your cut off wheel and get it down in between. Just pull your wheel away from your base, and just take your Dremel with your cut off wheel and go down in between there and cut the axle. That's all you do. But a couple of things you're gonna need. What I use is these tension pins or roll pins, and as you can see, it's got a little slit in it. Let me see if I can get the light. See, it's got a little slit on it right there. You can order these off eBay if you want to buy them in bulk, and or you can go to your hardware store, local hardware store. I think Lowe's has them. They call them tension pins or roll pins. And the sizes you need are 1/8 inch diameter, and then the length. There's two different lengths I use. See where I got one at, the shorter ones. The shorter ones is a 5/8 inch length, and then this longer one is 3/4. And the reason you want different lengths is because, see, like this is the short one here, and as you can see right there on the base, it doesn't extend the whole width. It's just a little too narrow in between the wheels. So we'll take this long one, and that'll give us a little extra wheel space hanging out the edges too. But that's what you'll need is roll pins, or you can use 1/8 inch aluminum tubing that you can buy at the hobby shop. I found that the roll pins are easier because they're already predetermined lengths, and the internal diameter, the diameter on the inside of this roll pin, is a little bit tighter of a tolerance with the axle tubing we're going to use. The aluminum tubing that I bought is a little bit thinner walls, so that inner diameter is a little bit larger, and there's a little bit of play in there. But I'll explain that more whenever I get to it. Another thing you're going to need is 1/16 aluminum tubing, or I also use brass tubing. As long as it's 1/16, it doesn't really matter whether it's aluminum or brass. For this one, I already have a piece of brass tubing out. And you're going to need some sandpaper or fingernail file, and of course your wheels that you're going to put on there. So the first thing you want to do, like I said, is pop your wheels off, whether you're drilling it apart and popping them off, or you're just cutting them off and leaving it riveted together. And the next thing you want to do is, you see how this base detail here is raised up? If you don't get that even and flat, then you're gonna have troubles whenever you put your wheels on, because it won't sit flush, and one side will be higher than the other, and you'll get a little bit of body wobble to it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this fingernail file here, and we're gonna just, let me get where you can see it, just take it and sand back and forth on that thing there, and try to keep it as flush and as level on the table as you can. And as you can see there, it's sanded all of this flush, and where that front differential was rounded, it's all flush now. As you can see there is no raise, it's flat straight across. We're going to do the same thing to the rear. Well, technically on the rear, this one's already flat. There's no raised surfaces right there where those leaf springs are. It's already flat, so we're not going to mess with that on this one. But if it wasn't a flat surface, you'd want to do the same thing so you could get a flat surface like the front is there. So next thing you want to do is take you a little dab of super glue. Well, before we do that, we'll take us a little dab of super glue and put right on your flat spots. And then we're going to take our roll pin or our tension pin, whatever you want to call it. We're going to try to place it just right. Try to get it as straight as possible on this thing too, because if you don't, you're going to have troubles. And I don't know about lighting, if y'all can see me here, but you want to try to place it right over where your wheels would normally be. As you can see there, it's pretty straight. You want to try to get it as straight across as possible, so that way that whenever you get done, if it's crooked, your truck's going to try to turn to one side or the other, which way it's crooked to. So we're going to let that dry up a minute. And while we're doing that, we're going to take our tube and be very, very gentle. And what you want to do is you want to take it, because that glue hadn't completely set up yet. And what you want to do is you want to take it and slide it through that there. You see where it's sticking out a little bit on the other end? You want to leave just a little bit on the other end sticking out, just a hair, if you can see there. See how that brass tubing is sticking out just a little bit on this end over here? You want just a hair sticking out. And then what you want to do is you want to take your Sharpie and on this one, mark where there's a little bit hanging out over here too. Let me see if I can get that where you can see it. You see how I got that mark there where a little bit sticking out of the tubing on either end? That's what you want to do. And then after you do that, you want to cut it off. Now you can use your Dremel with your cutoff wheel if you want to, but I prefer to use my machinist vise and chuck it up in the vise here. And when you use it in the vise like this, you want to get that mark pretty close to the jaws of the vise. You see here, and then you can see my mark right there. You want to leave a little space in there because I'm going to use my jeweler saw here to cut this thing. And you don't want to get it too close and then have your blade right against the jaw of your vise and then pop your blade. Or if it's too far out, you take the chance of bending up your tubing, which it won't bend on the part that you need now, but then you waste some tubing because you'll bend your tubing and won't be able to use it, and you'll have to cut it off later. But that thing cuts it pretty easy. But now, once we've got it cut, if this camera will focus, you can see that internal diameter is a little smaller on here because of a burr from where you cut it. So what I like to do is I have my little dental pick here, and I'll take it and I'll stick it right inside that hole and kind of wobble it around a little bit. and break that burr off. And that's going to be good because when you go to put your axles in, your axles are kind of, it's real snug in here, so if that burr's in there, it won't let your axle go in, and it can be a pest sometimes. So what we want to do now, oh no, I got super glue on my truck. Oh well, that'll be alright. I'll clean that up whenever we do the muddy paint job. But now what you want to do is take your truck, your axle, your tension pin should be set up by now, and stick it in there where it hangs out. Stick it in there just a little bit. You're going to take your super glue, which I use Gorilla super glue, the gel kind, and you want to take and put you just a very, very little bead of glue. Not very much at all. On your axle tube. And then what I like to do is take an old X-Acto blade and stick the tip right inside of that hole and slowly push it in. You don't want to just jam it in, because then that glue will gush out on the end and it'll cover up the hole to your axle tube where we're going to put our axles in for our wheels. And then sometimes it helps to just pick up on it just lightly so it'll adhere to that the inside of that tension pin. Now while that sits up, we're gonna get our wheels ready. So all you really want to do is just take your cutters and find about the center point of your axle, pretty close. And we're just going to reuse the same old axles. And you just find about the center point and clip them. And that way, as you can see, you have some axles sticking out there. That way it'll have something to go into the axle tube. And then next up, what you want to do is one thing I forgot to tell you need that we're going to talk about right now, so I'll tell you need it now. And that's you don't have to have it, but it comes in handy, and it's this 11-0 I reckon is the grade of glass beads. I got these out of the jewelry section at Walmart, and you see all these glass beads in here, it'll be forever before you run out. But then what you do is I just pour a little bit out. See if I can get it where you can see here. You see all the little ones? And then I just pick out the ones I want and slide them over the axle. You see it there? And that's going to serve as your wheel spacers. So let me pick out another one, and you want them pretty much the same in size. That way you have pretty much an even spacing whenever you go to put your axles in. Alright, let me get those out of the way. And I've already got one axle tube here done for the sake of the video. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this guy on too. That way you don't have to sit here and watch me do two of them the same way. I already got that one all the way done, so once I glue this on, we'll be ready to rock on this back side. Alright, now while that guy's sitting up, I'm going to show you how to do this part. Now what you want to do is, you see how your little bit sticking out the end there? What you want to do is you want to take your super glue and put you just a very, very little dab on the end there. Just a very little bit. All it takes is a little bit. You can barely see it. Then what you want to do is take and hold your bead back. See if I take your thumbnail, hold your bead back, and then you just kind of get where you can see here. Just kind of guide that axle into that tubing, and it slides down, and you need to be kind of quick and take your dental pick like I have here and push that guy down in there, which I was not successful in doing very quickly. So I got a little bit of wheel wobble there. But that's what you do for both sides, and then you have a lifted truck. So let me pause this and get this other one done, and get this thing pushed down in there pretty good, and I'll be right back to you to show you the final product. Alright, I'm back. As you can see, I got all 4 wheels on. The next part, what you want to do, because that super glue will break loose. It's not very strong at all whenever it comes to this thing. It's more of a, I use it more of a tack, like a tack weld. So it gets everything mocked up pretty much, and then I like to use this stuff, the clear JB Weld, that sets in 5 minutes, a clear epoxy. It's 2-part epoxy, and you squirt it out in equal amounts. Because it's in a syringe, it comes out in pretty much equal amounts, and you mix it up and then you put it on. So what I do is I put it on me let me see if I can get it where you can see it and I can see it too. You squirt it out in pretty much equal amounts. That's plenty. I don't know if you can see this very well. I don't do much from the desk, so forgive me if lighting is horrible. And I like to use a toothpick and just mix this stuff together. You got to mix it good and thorough so that it's all a consistent color, which is still pretty much clear, but one side's more yellow of a clear than an actual clear color, amber I guess you'd call it. Then once you get that mixed up, what I do is I'll take and I'll run it at my contact points with this toothpick where the whole shebang meets the base. You don't have to be shy with it because it's going to be clear anyway. I mean, you'll see it, but it won't be majorly noticeable. So just smear that stuff all over there. And it doesn't hurt to go over the top of the axle either. The more you got in contact with this thing and the base, the stronger the bond's going to be. So that's what I'm doing here. And make sure at any time during this process, whether it be when you're putting your wheels on or this process or anything, make sure your super glue or your epoxy here doesn't get on your wheels and your axle tube at the same time, because it will lock your wheels in place. I mean, if you don't want to roll in custom, that's fine. But a lot of guys like myself pride ourselves in making something that's custom and still rolling. If that's not an issue for you, then it's not an issue at all. But see if I can get it in lighting there. As you can see, it's all shiny everywhere because I completely coated that thing with epoxy. So that's all you need to do, and then you let it set up and dry, and then you got a rolling lifted 4x4. So the next video, let me adjust this camera where I can talk to you for a second. The next video that I do, I'm going to show you how to do a muddy style paint job, and I'm also going to probably show you how to do a whip antenna if I can get the time. I've already mentioned the whip antenna in a previous video that I've done on a tutorial, but I reckon I'll go back through and show everybody how I do certain things again. If you guys are interested, let me know. If you're interested in seeing how I do my wide body kits. It's a long process. I won't be able to do it all in one video, but I can kind of give you an idea of how I do it. This is a R32 Skyline that I'm doing wide body on, and it's going to be a convertible. And I have to do one side at a time and let the putty dry before you go to the other side, so you don't lay it down and smush this side. So wide body kits are a bit of a pain. I'm still kind of new to them myself, but I'll show you the techniques that I found and picked up along the way if you guys want to know. So I appreciate you watching and sticking with me for this long. Thank you for everything, and I'll be back to you later on with another video. As always, have a good day.